New York. Jackie Wright is ready to shatter the calmness of John Cena, a wrestling and movie star, in front of millions of listeners. Her goal? To expose his weaknesses and destroy his image as a hero. But one answer from John turns the game around. Instead of a scandal, it's a moment that will shock everyone. What will he say? And will Jackie be able to resist his retaliatory strike? New York City. The heart of the Big Apple beats loud tonight. Inside a sleek, high-energy studio, the air crackles with anticipation. The lights are blinding, hot, white beams slicing across a packed audience clutching signs. John Cena, our champ. Never give up. They're here for him. The man himself. John Cena, 47 years old, a legend carved from the sweat and steel of the wrestling ring. Now, a Hollywood name with a heart bigger than his biceps. But this isn't a victory lap. Oh no, this is a battlefield. Across the table sits Jackie Wright, 45, sharp-tongued, sharper-eyed, the queen of cutthroat talk shows. Her blonde hair's pulled tight, her blazer crisp, her stack of question cards gripped like a loaded weapon. She's built a career tearing down giants, and tonight, she's got Cena in her sights. The audience leans in, phones up, ready for the clash. Jackie flashes a smile, half professional, half predator, and dives in. John Sena, welcome. You've conquered the ring, starred in blockbusters, given millions to kids through Make-A-Wish. But let's cut the hype. You walked away from wrestling, your kingdom, for movies and charity. Was that a retreat? Or did the champ just get tired? The question lands like a sucker punch. Retreat? Tired? The words hang heavy, daring him to flinch. The studio's alive now. Cameras whirring, producers whispering behind glass. John sits steady, hands folded, his broad frame filling the chair. That famous jawline set, but his eyes? Calm. Too calm. He's a mountain unmoved by the storm. The audience holds its breath, waiting. Then, he leans forward just a touch. Jackie, wrestling gave me everything. But walking away? That wasn't running. It was choosing a new fight. A ripple of surprise rolls through the crowd. Quiet claps, a few hollers. The air shifts. Jackie blinks. Barely, but it's there. She expected a stumble, a crack in the armor. Instead, she got steel. Her fingers tighten on her cards. She's not here to lose. The crowd's buzzing now, sensing the heat. This isn't just an interview. It's a cage match, and round one's just begun. What's Jackie got up her sleeve? And can Cena keep his cool? Stick around. Part 2's coming. The studio pulses with energy, a live wire stretched tight. The crowd's murmurs ripple like static after John Cena's calm deflection of Jackie Wright's opening jab. She sits across from him, her posture stiff, her question cards fanned slightly in her hand, like a poker player sizing up a bluff. John's words, walking away wasn't running. It was choosing a new fight, still echo, and the audience clings to them, some nodding, others whispering to their neighbors. But Jackie isn't fazed, not yet. She's a veteran of this game, and she's got sharper claws to bear. Her lips twitch into a thin smile, the kind that promises trouble. She leans forward, elbows on the table, her voice slicing through the hum like a blade through silk. All right, John, let's talk about that new fight. Wrestling didn't just give you everything. It took plenty too. That neck injury, 2008, wasn't it? A herniated disc, surgery, months sidelined. You were the king of the ring, and one bad move snapped it all away. Didn't that break you? Weren't you done right there? The question lands harder than a body slam. The crowd sucks in a collective breath. Some wince, remembering those brutal days when Cena vanished from WWE screens, his future uncertain. A guy in the third row mutters, "That was rough, loud enough to carry." Jackie's eyes gleam. She smells blood. She wants the crack, the flinch, the proof that even legends fall. John doesn't move at first. His hands stay folded, his broad shoulders still. The silence stretches, a heartbeat too. Then he lifts his gaze, locking eyes with her. His voice rolls out, deep and steady like gravel under boots. Jackie, that injury didn't break me. It bent me, sure. Pain's a hell of a teacher. But done? Nah. It took my body off the mat for a while, but it lit a fire I didn't know I had. I learned strength isn't just slamming opponents. It's lifting others up when you're down. The room shifts. A woman in the front row gasps softly, hands clasped. Scattered claps erupt, swelling into a wave. Jackie's smile falters, just a flicker, but it's there. She expected a wounded champ, a story of defeat. Instead, she's facing a man who turned a fall into a rise. Her fingers curl tighter around her cards, knuckles whitening. She didn't draw blood. She hit a wall. The crowd's alive now, buzzing louder, feeding off Cena's quiet power. Jackie straightens, brushing a strand of hair back with forced calm. She's not done. Not even close. She flips to the next card, her mind racing. If injuries won't crack him, she'll dig deeper into the dirt of his past. The air thickens. Round two's over, but the real fight's just heating up. The studio's heat is palpable now, a pressure cooker ready to blow. John Cena's last words. Strength isn't just slamming opponents, it's lifting others up when you're down. Hang in the air, sinking into the crowd like ink into paper. The audience is hooked, some leaning forward, others clutching their signs tighter. A guy in a faded Cena t-shirt yells, "That's my champ," and the room hums with agreement. Across the table, Jackie Wright adjusts her posture, spine straight, her cool mask slipping just enough to show the gears turning behind her eyes. She's 2 strikes in, and Cena's still standing, untouched, unshaken. Her fingers flick through her question cards, a calculated pause, then she locks onto him again. Her voice drops, edged with something colder, more personal. "Let's pivot, John. West Newbury, Massachusetts. Small town, working class roots. 5 brothers, a packed house. Your mom's stretching every dime to keep it together. No silver spoon, no easy road. You had to claw your way up from nothing. Didn't that grind ever make you bitter? Didn't you resent the world for dealing you that hand?" The question cuts deep, a shovel into his past. The crowd shifts uncomfortably. Some frown, others murmur, picturing a young Cena scrapping for every inch. It's raw, real, a far cry from the glitz of this New York stage. Jackie leans in, her stare piercing, waiting for the anger, the crack she's sure is buried there. John doesn't rush. He tilts his head slightly, a faint smile tugging at his lips, not cocky, just steady. He takes a breath, and when he speaks, his tone's warm, like he's telling a story by a fire. West Newbury wasn't nothing, Jackie. It was everything. Yeah, we didn't have much, money was tight, fights were plenty with 4 brothers under one roof. But bitter? Nah, that grind didn't curse me. It forged me. My mom showed me hustle, my brothers taught me heart. The world didn't owe me a damn thing, and I didn't owe it my rage. The studio erupts. Claps thunder. Cheers spike. Someone whistles loud enough to pierce the noise. A woman in the back wipes her eyes, nodding like she gets it. Jackie's jaw tightens, her plan unraveling again. She wanted a wound. She got a shield. Her cards tremble slightly in her grip. She's losing the thread, and she knows it. Cena's not just dodging. He's flipping every punch into a lesson. The crowd's fully his now, riding the wave of his words. Jackie forces a breath, regaining her edge. She's not out yet. If his past won't break him, she's got one more angle, something sharper, something he can't shrug off. She slides a new card forward, her eyes narrowing. The air's electric, charged for the next blow. The studio's a live wire, buzzing with the aftershock of John Cena's last response. His words, "The world didn't owe me a damn thing, and I didn't owe it my rage," have the crowd in his corner, their cheers still echoing off the walls. Signs wave high. Cena, forever, in heart of a champ. He sits steady, a quiet giant, his presence filling the space without effort. Across from him, Jackie Wright's losing ground, and she feels it. Her blonde hair's still perfect, her blazer sharp, but her eyes betray a flicker of doubt. 3 swings, 3 misses. She's the hunter who's hit nothing but air. The audience senses it too. They're louder now, feeding off Cena's unshakable calm. Jackie's fingers tighten on her last card, her lifeline. She takes a slow breath, steadying herself, then leans in close, her voice low and icy, each word a dagger. "John, you're 47. Wrestling's in the rear view. Movies come and go. You've piled up titles, made millions, granted wishes, but it all fades. Don't you ever lie awake, staring at the ceiling, terrified the world's gonna forget you? That all this, everything you've built, turns to dust." The question slams into the room like a gavel. Silence chokes the air. The crowd freezes, some gasp, others clutch their seats, the weight of it sinking in. It's not just a jab. It's a gut punch aimed at the core of every fighter who's ever faced the clock. Jackie's eyes glint. She's sure she's got him this time. John doesn't flinch. He sits still, hands resting easy, but his gaze shifts, locking onto hers with a quiet intensity that makes the room feel small. Seconds tick by. 3, 4, each one heavier than the last. Then he speaks, his voice deep, deliberate, cutting through the hush. Jackie, I don't fear being forgotten. I've lost matches, taken hits, watched dreams slip away. But here's the thing. It's not about what they'll remember about me. It's about what they'll remember about you. The words twist like a blade. The crowd erupts, shouts, applause, a roar that shakes the floor. But Jackie doesn't hear it. Her face pales, her lips part, no sound coming out. For the first time, she's the one exposed, her armor cracked. A single tear streaks down her cheek, unchecked, gleaming under the lights. She doesn't wipe it away. Cena's not gloating. He's just there, steady as ever. Jackie's hands drop, her card forgotten. She's not just beaten, she's undone. The storm's peaked, and she's the one left in the wreckage. The studio's still reeling, the air thick with the fallout of John Cena's last words. It's not about what they'll remember about me. It's about what they'll remember about you. The crowd's roar has faded to a hush, a stunned silence settling over them like dust after a storm. Signs like Cena forever droop slightly in hands that don't know whether to clap or stay still. John sits there, his broad frame calm, his eyes steady, not triumphant, just present. He's a rock in the tide, unshaken by the chaos he's stirred. Across the table, Jackie Wright is a ghost of herself. Her sharp blazer hangs looser now, her stack of question cards abandoned, scattered like leaves on the polished desk. That tear, singular, raw, still clings to her cheek, a mark of something she can't name. Her lips tremble, but no words come. For once, the queen of cutting questions has none left to ask. The audience watches, some wide-eyed, others wiping their own tears, caught in the gravity of what's unfolded. A man in the back whispers to his friend, she didn't see that coming. And he's right, nobody did. Jackie spent years building a fortress of control, tearing down guests to prop herself up. Now, it's crumbled, and she's staring at the rubble. John shifts, then stands, his chair scraping softly against the floor. The sound snaps the room awake, a quiet signal the fight's over. He doesn't linger, doesn't bask, just nods to the crowd, a simple gesture of thanks, and steps off the stage, his boots heavy but sure. The lights dim as he goes, leaving Jackie alone in the glow. She doesn't move. Her hands rest limp, her gaze lost somewhere beyond the cameras. The crowd's quiet now, reflective, some still processing the shift from battle to revelation. A woman in the front pulls a tissue from her bag, dabbing her eyes, while a teenager beside her stares at the empty stage, mouth agape. Jackie's voice, once a weapon, stays silent. She's not thinking about ratings or headlines anymore. She's thinking about herself, maybe for the first time in years. The screen fades to black, and a final message cuts through. Life's not about how loud you shout. It's about the echo you leave behind. The words linger, simple but heavy, a closing bell to the night's drama. The story's done, but its weight stays with everyone who heard it.